reason your home will not sell this year? Now, before you get mad and click away, I'm not saying your house can't sell. What I'm saying is there's some mistakes sellers are making right now that are almost guaranteeing their house sits on the market longer than it should. And the crazy part, most of them are completely avoidable. I'm Chris Kapp with Luker & Co. And today I want to talk about the real reason some houses sell in a few weeks, while others seem to live on Zillow longer than some people live in apartments. All right, let's start with the biggest one. Biggest one is pricing. Everyone wants to get top dollar for their house. I get it, but there's a difference between top dollar and fantasy football dollar. Sometimes I sit down with a seller and they tell me, "Well, Cap, the house down the street sold for $500,000. Yeah, that's true. So mine should sell for $575. Duh. Well, what happened in between those two numbers? Because that's a pretty big jump. I own my house longer." A lot of sellers price their house based on what they want, what they need, or what their neighbor's cousin's barber said their house is worth. Unfortunately, buyers don't care. Buyers compare your house to every other house they can buy today. And if your house is priced too high, they don't usually call and negotiate. They're just going to swipe on to the next listing like they on Tinder. No explanation, no second chance, they gone. So here's what really hurts. The first couple of weeks on the market are your World Cup. Ole, 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 ole. And that's when every buyer and every agent is seeing your house for the first time. If you're overpriced during that period, you're going to miss your biggest opportunity. Then the price reductions start, $5,000 here, $10,000 there. And eventually buyers start wondering if there's something wrong with the house. Like it's kind of like seeing a gallon of milk at the grocery store marketed down 4 different times. You stop and ask, is it a good deal? And start asking how close it is to expiring. Now let's talk about presentation. This one gets overlooked all the time. I know you love your collection of refrigerator magnets from every vacation since 1997. I'm guilty of that too. And I know your giant recliner has a permanent dent shaped exactly like you. And I know your garage system makes perfect sense to you. But buyers need to be able to picture themselves living in there. If they walk in and all they see is your stuff, your photos, your collectibles, your paperwork, and enough furniture to open a second location of rooms to go, it's hard for them to connect with the house. And speaking of photos, bad photos are absolutely brutal. I've seen $1 million listings photographed like they were taken during a witness protection interview. Dark rooms, blurry pictures, a random photo of a ceiling fan, a bathroom pic with the toilet seat up. Why? You get one chance to make a first impression online, and that's where almost every buyer starts. Then there's marketing. Years ago, putting a house on the MLS was enough. Today, not so much. If your entire marketing plan is putting a sign in the yard and hoping Karen from accounting drives by on her lunch break, you might be waiting a while. Today's buyers are on social media. They're watching video tours. They're scrolling listings on their phone while pretending to listen during meetings. The more exposure your house gets, the better chance you have of finding the right buyer. And finally, one of the biggest mistakes sellers make is refusing to adapt. Maybe a buyer wants closing cost credits. Maybe they want a small repair. Maybe they want something fixed that you've been ignoring for 3 years because it still works if you jiggle it. The sellers who are flexible are the ones getting deals done. The sellers who dig in their heels often end up reducing the price far more than the concession they were originally asked to give. So what's the solution? Price strategically. Prepare the house properly, market it aggressively, and be realistic about what today's buyers are looking for. The good news is that houses are still selling. In fact, homes are selling every day. The difference is that the successful sellers are adapting to today's market instead of wishing you were in 2021. If you're thinking about selling, and you want to know what to do differently with your house, hey, leave a comment below or send me a message. I'd be happy to take a look and give you my honest opinion. I'm Chris Kapp with Luker & Co. Thanks for watching. See ya.